14 days, that's how long landowners have to figure out what to do when the 10th fastest growing county in the nation comes for their property using eminent domain. Williamson County says it's trying to keep up with the influx of people moving in, sometimes using its power to take private land to do that. But as KXAN's Mercedes Hernandez learned, longtime locals are now sounding the alarm.
Especially for lawmakers in charge of regulating this very complicated process.
Just 40 minutes outside Austin, row after row of hay bales, rolling hills of waving grass, and every few miles, a farmhouse.
This house, it's better for them because they're behind.
Angela Wetuski's parents moved to East Williamson County more than 30 years ago.
Lived in a little small, tiny cabin first until we built this. All right.
Now she lives here with her own kids, taking walks to visit their sheep and feed the catfish. But a letter earlier this year interrupted their quiet lives in the country,
saying that we are holding meetings to talk about roads that will be coming through, it will be touching your property.
Her parents still own the land, so they went to a meeting set up by a contractor for the county this past spring.
My parents went in just thinking, oh, we'll check it out. And then Mom looked at the map and said, that's our barn where you want to put the road.
The road was Corridor K, now called Arterial K. The county says it would connect I-35 to a future segment of the East Wilco Highway, cutting through several plots of land, 3.5 acres of it, on the Wetuski's property.
I just said, no way. It's not going to happen. I'm going to do what I can to try and learn all I can, what rights we have.
It can be a very long process to plan for roads.
Connie Odom is the Director of Communications for the county. She says right now, the project is in a phase called a right-of-way preservation study. That's find the proposal, talk to landowners, and move plans around. She says it could be years before the project is officially greenlit.
Generally, we are not building a roadway until growth in that area dictates that the road needs to be built.
In 2010, the county's population was about 420,000 people. Now, it's nearly 700,000, projected to hit 1.3 million in the next 20 years. If the project does move forward, Wetuski says she's worried about going up against the county to keep her property.
At some point, eminent domain comes into play. You either have to sell or you get pushed out.
The chair calls House Bill 2730 by Desautels.
House Bill 2730 went into effect in 2022 and laid out some new protections for landowners when it comes to eminent domain. Entities that seek private land for public use must now provide owners with things like the Texas Landowners Bill of Rights and a written appraisal of their land. 30 days later, they'll send their final offer. Once that final offer is made, property owners have just 14 days to respond.
That's what we arrived at the time.
We traveled hours away to Cleburne, State Representative Dwayne Burns' district. He co-authored the bill and now chairs the House Land and Resource Committee. He says there have been similar reforms proposed over the years, but HB 2730 is one of the latest to become law. He says it took 3 legislative sessions to come out with terms that appeased oil and gas companies, local governments, and landowner groups, including that 14-day time frame. Is 14 days enough time to respond to something like that?
I would love to see more time, frankly. But given the whole parameter of everything, once they've been initially contacted, they've received the Landowners Bill of Rights, they know about the project, they know what's coming, they've had time to prepare for that. If there are folks that have legitimate concerns with parts of that bill and not working for them, then they need to let us know.
Eminent domain attorney Dan Gaddis practices in Williamson County and served in the Texas legislature for 8 years. He says laws could do more to protect landowners, and public entities should be more open about their plans.
When you're talking about roadways and those types of things, and even in pipelines and power lines, we could be more transparent about that process. Transparency in the design process and where these routes are going to go.
Gaddis and Williamson County say it's rare that an eminent domain case reaches a courtroom, but that number is growing. There were 2,600 eminent domain cases on the county's docket in 2023. That's now almost 2,900 in 2024. He says it's the dollar amount an entity offers an owner that most often brings these cases to court.
Prices are not what they were 50 years ago. They're not what they were 6 months ago. We need to be allowed to put in more evidence of what real values are.
In 2019, the Wetuski's land was worth $1.6 million. Today, it's closer to $3.2 million. Wetuski says if she does eventually decide to sell, her options are limited because her land is marked by Arterial K.
I don't see any way that you could sell without, you have to disclose it, and then that changes your buyer completely.
Take out informed and put told.
In the months since first hearing about Arterial K, Wetuski and several others formed the group Preserve Wilco Now.
We held a town hall meeting in April and had over 150, almost 170 probably, people show up.
Sending their own letters out about the project, encouraging people to speak out against it and keep a close eye on their property values.
I had and have dreams for this place.
Because plans for Arterial K aren't final, Wetuski says she's still weighing her options. But it's not knowing when the project would happen that's weighing heaviest.
If it's 10 or 15 years away and we could still do something with that, I would make an effort to just pretend like it's not coming.
Something laid out in HB 2730 is that property owners can file a complaint with the Texas Real Estate Commission if they feel they're being treated unfairly in an eminent domain case. I reached out to that group and it says it doesn't have record or tracked complaints made specifically about eminent domain. But like Representative Burns said, if there are issues or updates needed to the law, his office and committee need to hear about it. We've listed those contacts in this web story in the investigative section of KXAN.com. Mercedes Hernandez, KXAN Investigates.
Mercedes, thank you very much. And after a property owner rejects an entity's offer, the matter goes to a judge and a special commission to things can move forward. And the commission is made up of others who live in the county, but who are they? We do take a closer look at that aspect in the story in the investigative section of KXAN.com.